Hey guys, it's Sam and this is Top 5 Wednesday. If you are new to Top 5 Wednesday, I will leave a link to the Goodreads group down below for topics and such. This week's topic is our favorite polarizing reads. So these are those books that either people love them or hate them, and there's not a lot of people in between, but we love them. Number 5 is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I don't understand why people don't like this book, and this is pretty much true of every book on this list. I'm going to probably say that a lot with this topic. But I do see that some people don't like the flowery writing, that it takes a little bit longer to get into. It's really one of those books that either you're going to love the characters or you're not, and if you love the characters, you're going to love the book because it's very character focused. So I sort of get why people don't like it, but the writing is stunning, and I instantly connected to the characters, and like everything it did, I feel it did well. And there's even some tropes in here that I necessarily wouldn't usually go for, and if it was in a different writer's hands, I probably wouldn't like it, but in Laini Taylor's competent hands, I love it. So the hate doesn't make any sense to me. Number 4 is the book I've been mentioning a lot lately, and that is The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. I've done a review very recently for this one, so I'll leave that on the screen, but this one also gets a lot of very mixed reviews. Some people consider it very slow, some people don't like Kelsey, our main character. I've heard people's like justifications for not liking her, and I'm still like, I don't understand. Like, I really don't. I find her to be an incredibly realistic character in that I feel that she reacts to things in a very teenage way in a lot of ways because she's 19 and she's a girl coming into her throne. She's been kind of locked away for a long time and kind of kept away from everything. So she has moments of being a little bit naive, but she's still very strong and smart, and she has moments people don't like of her kind of being condescending to women. I didn't pick up on that a ton, and I'm pretty sensitive to stuff like that. I saw it more as she has had experiences with people like her mother who are very vain and shallow, and now she's kind of generalizing that to everybody, and that she's going to learn from that behavior, and that she also doesn't treat other women like crap. Like, she actually has a lot of instances where she saves other women and where she prioritizes other women and that she respects other women. So even though she does some things with like self-esteem, because she has some self-esteem issues, so she does some things where she will kind of talk down about women who are prettier or who value their prettiness. She doesn't do it a ton that I remember, and I just read it last month, and I feel like it's a learning thing, and I think it stems from her relationship with her mother, so I think she's going to learn from it as it goes on. Anyway, people have a lot of different opinions about this and about Kelsey as a character, and I'm really defensive of her. I love her. I don't understand. I don't understand the hate. Number 3 is the Wick and the Divine graphic novel series. This is my favorite currently running graphic novel series. It's about an entire pantheon of gods, all different gods from different actual existing pantheons that are reincarnated into like young adult bodies, become superstars for a couple of years, and then die, and like what that all means and what the whole mystery behind this is and all this stuff. So number 1, it's a gorgeous comic, beautiful. Number 2, I adore all the characters, and I adore the prevalence of all these different kinds of gods, and a lot of stuff that it just comments on, and it's wonderful. But a lot of people find it confusing, and I just don't. Again, like, it's just one of those things where these are just love it or hate it, and you're gonna interpret it either one way or the other, and when people are like, oh, I couldn't get into this, it was so confusing, I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. And I know comics are kind of that way. Like, comics tend to be either love it or hate it, and certain ones are confusing to some people and not to others, and that's just kind of the way that it is. I'm just so wrapped up in this that when I hear any critiques of it, like, I just get, like, white noise. I just kind of glaze over, like, does not compute. Don't understand. Number 2 is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Now, this is fairly popular, and it's gaining in popularity as more books come out, but when this book first came out, I did see a lot of very polarizing reviews for it, and I even have friends who didn't like it and critiqued it very highly to me and whatever. And it's another book where I'm just like, I don't agree. And again, I'm friends with those people still, and it's fine, but I've recently reread this and thought back on a lot of people's like critiques of it and been like, I don't know how you interpret it that way, which is cool because it's like, each of us bring a different experience, we interpret things different ways and whatever. But a lot of the critiques this book gets, I'm like, I don't understand why this is getting critiques. One of the critiques that people do give it is that there is some focus on ships eventually. Like some people say that it's like only all about the romance, which is totally wrong. I mean, like, the romance elements don't even come into this until like 250 pages into this first book, which is like a 400-page book. So, and the whole thing is like the two main characters are always focused on each other, getting back to one another if they're at all separated ever, like worrying about the other one, worrying about like everything with the other friends. And the friendship is the most important thing. Like, the friendship between these two female characters, and then there's also side characters that have friendships, like strong friendships. They're called thread families in here, so you can have like a thread sister or a thread brother, and that's like your best friend, like your threads of your life are connected. That's how deep it is. I love it. And those are the main focus. And yes, there are times that like we have little romance elements, but I consider it like spice and not like a main plot point, at least in this book. So that's the main critique that I hear up from people, and I feel it's off base. I feel it's off base. But also there is some people that talk about this being really info dumpy with world building the first time you read it. That is very true, but I think it definitely gets clearer like if you get like 100 pages into it, and then especially on reread I was like, okay, this is so clear, but she just lays out so much stuff for this world and how complex it is and how wonderful it is and how much like all the witchery and stuff is. I could gush forever about this book. I have done a review on this book, and I'm currently reading Wind Witch, which is the second book in the series, so I'm very much like in this world right now and loving it. And again, I don't understand. I don't understand critiques. I really don't. And lastly, we have Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is a book that is also incredibly polarizing. All these books are very polarizing, but this is one that I will frequently go and look at negative reviews that people have of books just to see if like I didn't miss something, especially if something's problematic, or just see why other people didn't like it. And I never go and like comment if people are wrong, because it's that person's opinion, and like I'm not going to do that because I'm not raised by wolves. But this is one where I will read them and then just laugh, because I can't even get myself in that headspace. Like usually with most books I'm able to be like, okay, I disagree with that, but I can see where you're coming from with this critique and this critique, as long as it's not like critiques of like racism, ableism, any of the isms. Like those obviously I always am like, okay, yes, you're right, but in these cases it's nothing like that. So I'll sit there and be like, I completely disagree. I can't even see how you feel that way. It's just one of those books that like, and it's kind of nice because I am so not even able to get like offended. I don't usually get offended with people saying that they don't like a book of mine, because I don't tie books that I like to my identity, so it doesn't offend me at all. But like, this is a book where I can't even get offended, because I'm like, I don't even understand where you're coming from. I completely don't understand. Like, a lot of people don't like the writing in this. I love it. A lot of people don't like the characters in this. I'm head over heels for them. A lot of people don't like the romance. I would write fan fiction about it for days. Like, it's perfect. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite books. And any of the critiques that people have for it just like literally slide off my back, because I can't even see it. I just love it so much. It means so much to me. It's so great. So those are my top 5 polarizing reads. Comment down below, let me know some books that are polarizing that you really love. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all guys soon. Bye!